It was a quiet afternoon in the park, the kind of afternoon where the sun hides gently behind soft white clouds and the breeze carries the laughter of strangers. But for a young mother sitting alone on a wooden bench, the world was painfully silent. Her name was Maya, and in her trembling hands was a half-empty baby bottle, filled not with milk, but with plain water. She tried to soothe her hungry baby, gently rocking him back and forth as tears burned behind her eyes. The baby whimpered softly, his tiny lips searching for nourishment that wasn't there. And though Maya whispered soft lullabies, she knew deep inside she was only delaying the inevitable. Her child was hungry, and she had nothing left to give. Before we continue, if you believe in kindness, compassion, and second chances, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it, because sometimes even a small act of kindness can change an entire life. Maya's life had not always been this way. Just a year ago, she had dreams, bright golden dreams of a family, of a home filled with laughter and love. She had fallen in love with a man who promised her the world. They built plans on fragile hopes, but when she became pregnant, everything changed. Her partner left without a word, leaving behind nothing but unpaid bills and broken promises. She had tried to be strong, finding small jobs to keep food on the table, but when the rent rose and her boss cut her hours, she was left with barely enough to survive. Now, sitting on that park bench with her hungry baby in her arms, Maya felt the crushing weight of failure. Every passing face seemed to look away, pretending not to see her. She felt invisible, like a ghost walking through a world too busy to care. Her clothes were worn, her shoes old, and her hands bore the marks of someone who had worked hard, yet never seemed to move forward. Still, she tried to smile for her baby, because he was her only reason to keep breathing. She tilted the bottle again, watching the baby suckle weakly on the cool water. It wasn't enough, she knew, but she had no other choice. Milk formula had become too expensive, and she hadn't eaten a proper meal herself in 2 days. Her stomach growled quietly, but she ignored it. The baby whimpered again, a sound that shattered her heart into smaller pieces each time. Just then, from a distance, a man walked along the path. He was carrying a brown paper bag filled with groceries, bottles of milk, bread, and some fruit visible through the top. He looked ordinary, just another passerby lost in his own errands. But something made him slow down as he neared the bench. Maybe it was the way Maya held the baby so close, or maybe it was the silent desperation in her eyes. Whatever it was, he stopped walking. His name was Aaron, a quiet man who lived alone not far from the park. He had always believed in helping others when he could, but lately he had been lost in his own world, recovering from grief after losing his mother, the only person who had ever truly understood him. Yet as he looked at Maya, something stirred inside him, a feeling he hadn't felt in a long time. Aaron noticed the clear water in the baby's bottle and something didn't sit right. Babies that small didn't drink water like that. They needed milk. He hesitated, unsure if he should interfere, but the baby's faint cry made his heart ache. He walked a little closer and gently asked if she was all right. Maya forced a polite smile, the kind you give when you don't want to seem weak, and said she was fine. But her eyes told a different story, one of exhaustion, fear, and quiet desperation. Aaron didn't push. Instead, he looked at the brown paper bag in his hand, the groceries he had just bought. Without overthinking it, he sat down on the same bench, a respectful distance away, and quietly placed the bag between them. From it, he pulled out a small carton of milk and a sandwich. "You look like you could use this more than I do," he said softly. For a moment, Maya froze. She didn't want to accept pity. She had promised herself she would never beg. But then the baby let out a soft cry, and her pride melted away. Her hands trembled as she took the milk, whispering a broken thank you. She mixed some of it carefully into the baby's bottle, and within moments, the baby latched on, drinking eagerly. The sight brought tears to Aaron's eyes. They sat in silence as the baby fed. The park was calm again, the world moving on around them, but for those few minutes, it felt like time stood still. Maya could finally breathe. The relief that washed over her was indescribable, like a drowning person finally reaching the surface. Aaron watched quietly, his chest heavy with empathy. When the baby was finally asleep, Maya told him her story. She spoke softly, her voice breaking every now and then. She told him about how she had been abandoned, how she had searched endlessly for work that would allow her to care for her baby, and how every door seemed to close on her face. "Sometimes," she whispered, "I feel like the world has forgotten people like me." Aaron listened carefully, not interrupting once. He understood pain, he understood loneliness. After losing his mother, he had spent months avoiding people, hiding behind routines and meaningless errands. But as he looked at Maya, he realized that maybe he was meant to meet her. Maybe this was life's way of reminding him that compassion still mattered. That day, he didn't just hand her food. He offered something far more valuable, hope. He asked if she would allow him to help her find a job. Maya was hesitant, but Aaron's sincerity was unmistakable. He offered to connect her with a friend who managed a small cafe nearby, where they always needed help. The next morning, he even walked her there himself. The cafe manager, a kind woman named Lena, hired Maya after seeing how genuinely she wanted to work. It wasn't easy at first. Balancing work with caring for her baby took every bit of strength she had. But Aaron kept visiting, checking in on her, sometimes bringing groceries, sometimes just sitting quietly as she shared her worries. Slowly, Maya began to smile again. Weeks passed, and the transformation was astonishing. Maya saved every little bit she could, moving from sleeping on a friend's couch to renting a small room of her own. The baby grew stronger, healthier, and though she still had struggles, she faced them with newfound courage. Aaron became a constant presence, not out of pity, but out of genuine care. He never crossed boundaries, never made her feel small. He simply showed up when it mattered. There were moments when Maya would look at her baby and whisper, "See, kind people still exist." Those words alone were enough to fill Aaron's heart with warmth. He had thought he was the one helping her, but in truth, she was helping him heal too. Months turned into a year. The cafe became more than just a workplace for Maya. It became her new beginning. Customers loved her gentle smile and humble nature, and Lena often said she was like sunshine on the hardest days. One evening, just as the cafe was closing, Maya was cleaning the tables when Aaron walked in quietly. He had his usual kind smile and a small bouquet of flowers. "You've come so far," he said softly. "You should be proud of yourself." Maya looked at him, her eyes glistening. "I wouldn't have made it without you," she whispered. Aaron shook his head. "No, you did this. You just needed someone to remind you that you could." That night, as he left, Maya stood by the cafe window watching him go, her heart full of gratitude. Sometimes life takes everything away, only to return something more meaningful. Not wealth, not luxury, but kindness, faith, and the courage to start again. From that day on, Maya promised herself she would never let another mother feel the loneliness she once knew. Whenever she saw someone struggling, she reached out, with food, with comfort, or simply with a kind word. Her small acts of kindness rippled outward, touching lives just as Aaron had touched hers. If this story touched your heart, please like this video, share it with someone who believes in humanity, and subscribe to our channel for more stories that remind us how powerful kindness can be. And before you go, tell us in the comments below, do you believe a single act of kindness can truly change someone's life? Because Maya and Aaron's story proves one thing: when compassion meets courage, miracles do happen.